In this interview, I speak with spiritual teacher Jac O'Keeffe about the nature of enlightenment, her own journey of awakening, and most importantly, about how we live post-enlightenment. Hello,
Hello,
Jack.
Jeff.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Very good. Nice to meet you.
And you too. You have an interesting online magazine, that's for sure.
This one is particularly my topic. I got to choose this one. Um, so we're speaking about the spiritual practice in the contemporary world. And I have been listening to a lot of your interviews and teachings online over the past week or two. And, you and I have charted a lot of similar territory.
Ah,
And you're in Hawaii now.
I am?
Are you on Maui or?
No, Kauai.
I studied Lomi Lomi massage uh,
Oh, wow. Okay.
on Maui with
Uh-huh.
a wonderful teacher. And I did retreats with her in Maui. I also did a retreat with her in Ireland
Oh,
because
jeepers. Oh, now I'm getting the linkages. Okay.
she said the energy between Ireland and Hawaii she found very similar. That
Very similar. Correct.
similarly alive.
Yeah,
Uh,
me too.
the weather not so similar, but the
I
energy of the
agree.
land very similar.
Yes.
And I
And
love
they're both places that have been colonized and their language was taken from them. Like
really.
I can feel it. It's like, yep, I get it. I know what
Yeah,
it's like to be oppressed. Yeah.
exactly. No, that's
Mm,
very, very true.
mm.
So anyway, I'm very excited to talk to you, and I've got a few questions in mind, and we'll see where it goes. I'm very open to how this wants to take us. Noticed that you had a big opening that kind of initiated you, at least into doing spiritual work, when
Mm.
you were about 30 years old. And I wanted to ask you, I mean, you could tell us whatever you want about the nature of the experience, but really, what was it that experience did for you? What did it ignite? What did it shift? How were you different afterwards than before?
Mm. Mm. I was given a choice to change my life or not. I mean, literally a choice with a
Mhm.
being standing at the end of my bed saying, you can continue the way you're going, or you can go in this direction. And I was like, okay, I've been an atheist for a chunk of years. And now all of a sudden, the non-physical was very real, undeniably real. So I'm like, in my little selfish 30-year-old way, I said, what's in it for me if I change? And this being said, here. And I got this wave of love in every cell in my body that was unlike any kind of love we know here. Like,
Mm.
like, yeah, indescribably off the charts. And I went, oh my God, what was that? What was that experience? And I mean, I'd done a lot of, illegal drugs. I hadn't started the spiritual drugs yet. I've had a lot of experiences.
Mhm.
There was nothing like this. It was just in its own in terms of purity, like ecstasy that a drug can't bring you to, just something that was beyond all of it. And something in me knew, oh, this is authentic. There's a rightness to this. This rattles something deeper in my being than an experience. It's got
Yes.
more than an experience. It's something else. And of course, I had no language or anything for that, but I was like, what is this? It's like I was brought into this other realm, of outside of experience, but yet we phenomenally pick it up as experience because that's the way
Yes.
we're wired. And and I said, what's that? And he said, that's love. That's divine love. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Give it to me again, because you caught me by surprise. Give it to me again because I really wanted to go, okay, I need to like be aware and observe this and not just get caught up in the experience. And the same thing happened again, the very same experience. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. I need to
Mm.
figure out what this is. And I said, this is unconditional love. So is this unconditional love? And he said, yeah, you can call it that, but I'm giving you a teaspoon. I said, that's a teaspoon? He said, there's an ocean of it there for you, for all.
Mm.
All you can take is a teaspoon. I'm like, oh, and I just knew he was right. And I went, oh, like it would fry me. And he goes, yep, it'll fry you. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Okay. And so I was like, how do I change my life then? And I was, directed to do this in your work, exit at this time. I'll tell you what to do then. So I kind of had my career guidance counselor from another plane telling me how to change my life. And I
Did
did.
this being stay with you?
This being turned out to be somebody that I met 7 years. No, I found out who it was 7 years later.
Mm.
It's a man who is awake for many years and he's still alive and he lives in the north of Spain in
Okay.
retreat, always in retreat.
Mhm.
Um, how I found out about 7 years later, I was on a meditation retreat where they had this photograph of the guru on the wall. And I was like, well, I like this frequency of meditation. I like what I'm doing. It was, I don't know, Granada or someplace in Spain. I was
Mm.
living in a campsite in the south of Spain thinking, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? So this guru was up there and I was just ignoring all that guru stuff. And deep in meditation over this weekend retreat, the guru appeared in front. Now, a disciple gave it. So we only had the photograph of the guru, but we knew he was alive. But one of his disciples gives the retreat. And the guru appeared in front in vision form and said, I've been waiting for you. And I'm like, uh-huh. No respect for gurus of any sort at the time. And he said, do you remember this? And he opened his two hands, and there was the foot of my bed and him standing underneath it. And he said, I've been waiting for you until you could actually follow me closely. And I went, oh my God, that was you. And he said, yeah, through your ayahuasca years and your South America stuff and your Sancto Daime stuff, and been waiting for you to actually be interested in the truth. Walk
Mm.
with me. So I went, okay. And I just bowed down and I don't know, devotion started in a whole new way. Devotion started. And it's still alive, you know?
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And you also said something really important that I want to bookmark for our conversation, which is you said you wanted to experience it, you wanted to have that experience again or to be hit by that again. And the reason you wanted it was because you weren't ready and you wanted to have it where you weren't so overwhelmed by the experience that you missed the reality,
Correct.
right? And I think oftentimes people don't appreciate, and this is one of the challenges with spiritual experiences anyway, is the experience of them is what we kind of are hit with.
Yes,
But that's not really what's valuable about it. What's
that's right.
valuable is the reality.
That's right.
And it's it's difficult, I think, often for people to understand that distinction. Um,
Yeah.
it's crucial
Yeah.
in
Very
spiritual.
good point. Very good point to put language on that, Jeff. Yeah, that's very important. It's crucial, as you say. And we live in a culture whereby experience has high value.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that's the best. The experience of buying something new, like it's all about experience. Like in the US, it's about entertainment. That's the biggest industry is entertainment. Um, why do we, commercialize really and value experience so much when actually it comes and goes and feeds into desire because it'll make you want the next one and the next one.
Hmm.
And on my own path, and I'm sure it's there for everybody at some point on their path, you have to see through experience. You have to see through the construct of what we call experience.
Yes.
But what is like echoed in our body mind as experience, but actually has a foundation on a different beingness altogether. That's the thing. Capital R reality. That's a different thing. Your body
Right.
mind mechanism will pick up the experience. And it's interesting, like, I wonder, if there's anybody who's listened to the first few minutes, of this conversation here. And I wonder, would they think, oh, I'd love that experience? Like, who fell into that trap?
Right.
I'd love that experience to feel unconditional love. When actually it wasn't really about that experience. It was about the underpinning sense of that's more true than this phenomenal story of Jac O'Keeffe. That's
Right.
more true. That has a different resonance in a different place. The Jac O'Keeffe will come and go. The experience came and went, but it opened a doorway to something much purer and more
Right.
refined.
So in a similar vein, and I'm sure because I have been listening to a lot of your teaching, so I know that we are very much aligned in many ways. I often am teaching about freedom, and I really emphasize the point. Freedom is not the same. Freedom does not equal feeling free.
Mm.
Everyone wants to feel free,
Mm.
but being free means that you're free no matter how you feel.
Yes,
That freedom is
that's right.
freedom. It's not feeling free. And I often will say, being free when you feel good is not hard. Pretty much anybody can do it.
That's right.
It's not
That's right.
a huge demonstration of
That's right.
your equanimity.
That's
It's
right.
when you can be free and okay and content, no matter how you feel, that something's happened and you are resting, like as you were just saying, you're resting in a different ground then. It's it's a ground that actually is a ground of contentment that has nothing to do with how you feel, which is very difficult for people to understand.
Yeah.
Like, how can you be content no matter how you feel?
Yes.
But
Yes.
that's what's so valuable.
Yes. And this might be useful for listeners just as an addendum to that. It kind of feels like, oh, I'm out of that. The story of me. Something has gotten out of my own way. It's more like that, isn't it? You
Yes.
know, it's like, oh, I'm just there's no me story,
Mhm.
and without getting caught on that, oh, who is the one who's not caught on it? It's like language is limited. There is a felt sense of being outside of the story of me, you
Yes.
know, and not to get caught on the language, but feel into it. It's like, can you be outside of your own story? Or who is it that says it? Byron Katie or the one who talks about vulnerability, that one. She says, who are you without your story, without your own
Mhm.
story?
Mhm.
You know, yeah, like go there, go
Right.
there, go there.
Absolutely.
And there's a felt sense of loss if you're actually halfway out of it, but there's a
Right.
felt sense of, oh, I can expand. Oh, the games are over. Oh, jeepers. That's
Absolutely.
like, okay, fall into that. Now fall into that and surrender, 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 surrender. Let it go
Yes.
deeper and deeper and deeper into like dissolve into nothing. There never was a you. You made up the whole friggin' thing in your head. You made it all up. Consciousness made it up and then it became your story. Like, drop it all. It's not about bringing it to a nice little pink ribboned area where it's just all tidy and neat and everything is done. Like, forget it. Forget it. That's never going to happen.
Right.
It doesn't need to happen.
Yes. So you see past the false identity that
That's it.
has developed
That's right.
as which is what you've and you rest in something more real. You
That's
rest
right.
and it's you kind I don't know like you don't know what the
Kinda.
like you
Yeah.
said language doesn't really work anymore,
Yeah.
but it's not devoid of you. It's not emptiness,
Yes.
but it's literally, I feel like the scene from the movie The Matrix is so good.
Oh,
Uh,
Matrix is fantastic as a
yeah,
teacher.
it's
Fantastic
so
movie.
good.
Yeah.
The scene where they're driving down the street and he's passing the Chinese restaurant and he goes, "Oh, I used to eat there," you know.
Yeah.
And I had exactly that experience years before when I was getting on my spiritual path and I had this big thing occur and I ended up leaving my marriage and at the time and I was with my mother-in-law because I was telling her that why I was leaving
Yes.
And we were driving down the street, and I was looking at, and I thought, this none of this is real. This all used to feel so real to me. And it's like you stepped off the conveyor belt, and you
Yes.
see the
That's
conveyor
right.
belt's still going,
That's
but you're
right.
not on it anymore.
That's right. You're not on it. And you're like, that's what I was caught in. That's where
Right.
yeah, that's where I spent my time and what I put my attention into. And it's nothing. It's nothing. And when you're in it though, darn, it's important. Everything
That's
about
right.
it is important and it's very serious. And then like it's like, oh God, oh gosh, what the heck was that about? You
Right.
know? Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's not that that's bad.
No.
It's just what it is.
Mm,
And but
mm.
now you're somewhere else.
And now you're
And
someplace else.
the thing that I
Yeah.
really loved about some of what you said in the teachings that I was listening to is that freedom is not necessarily the end of development. Like, because often that becomes the end. That's the story ends with you being free, and now you're free. You're out of the matrix, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But that's not the end. There's
Yeah.
now you're in a different reality, and you can continue to grow and develop and contribute.
Yes.
And I would
Yes.
love to hear you say a little bit about your
Yes.
understanding of what's next after freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to pick up on one thing you were saying when you were talking about that reality when you're off the conveyor
Yes.
belt and you're seeing that it was a conveyor belt and you said it's not empty. It kind of for me it is empty, but there's nothing missing.
Yes. That's a beautiful way to put it.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
yeah, because I just kind of wanted to just like, what do you mean by that? Okay, you know, knowing the truth is one thing, living it is quite another.
Yes.
And there isn't enough out there about living the truth, like in terms of material or speakers. And that's why I was like, oh, I want to talk to Jeff about this. Great. Because these conversations need to happen. Now, for thousands of years, you would be a monastic or you'd be a sadhu, you'd be in an ashram, you'd be maybe in a psychiatric ward. Very often, that's what we did with people who woke up. Um, and we said, oh, no, it's psychosis. It's not actually, they're just seeing that this isn't real. And so like there were ways where society extracted the person who woke up. So we don't have a lot of models for the awakened person to live in life. And a lot of mistakes can be made because we don't have instruction or guidance. And very often, oh, I'm awake, I'll become a teacher. It's like, oh my God, no, get a normal
Yes.
job, become a bistro in Starbucks or, a barista in Starbucks. And like, that's where the work is. Do normal stuff. Become a parent if you haven't been a parent. Like, get right in and
Mm.
see what's to be learned by participating on that conveyor belt and maintaining abidance in capital or reality, keeping your attention there,
Right.
knowing the bigger picture and living from there, but engage, get down and dirty and muddy into the world. That's what we don't have instruction with. And there seems to be, a kind of a collective belief system that, oh, sure, everything just fits into place then once you're awake. And people coming to me saying, I'm in hell. My
Mm.
phenomenal, my
Mm.
phenomenal experience is this is terrible. I just want to die. I know it's fine, but life sucks. I'm just waiting to die. I'm like,
Right.
okay, we have work to do. Okay, we have work to do. So here's the post awakening challenge, no?
Yes. Yes. And I'm getting tears in my eyes because it's so exciting to talk about this.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It very much is. But I love what you just said, which is the only model that really exists for a post-enlightenment life is teaching. Like
That's
that's
right. That's
that's
right.
the model that exists.
That's
And
right.
yes, you could become a barista at Starbucks. But
Hmm.
if you're awake and you're a barista at Starbucks,
Mm.
something's going to happen.
Yes.
you're not going to be the barista who like hates their job and just shows up
Yeah.
every day and is grumpy. Like,
You might be until you clear enough stuff.
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
You might be, but
Uh,
inevitably, if you're awake to that degree, something will happen. It may take time,
yes, that's right.
but
That's
it
right.
the
That's
world
right.
will change. If
That's
everyone's
right.
awake, then the world will change. That's what's exciting about it.
Yes, yes.
And I just want to share, I for 20 years I was a student of Andrew Cohen. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and I lived in his community for 20 years. I was
Mm.
personal assistant for 10. And then it all unceremoniously fell apart, of
It
course.
sure did.
And there was a time when, I don't know, there was something that was bothering me about fundamentally what we were up to together, right?
Uh-huh.
And this was not for any scandalous reason. It felt like it was for this reason. Like, why are we doing this? And and I
Okay.
remember drawing a cartoon because I used to like to draw cartoons. And I drew a little factory,
Yeah.
with smokestacks, and it was a Superman factory.
Uh-huh.
And ordinary people walked in one side,
Uh-huh.
and they went on this conveyor belt and they turned into Supermen with the suits, and all
Yeah.
the Supermen walked out the other side. But then they just went around into a side door and started working in the factory. And I thought,
Oh.
shouldn't we be going somewhere?
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah.
We just keep working in the same factory. We're
Yeah.
not really,
Looping back in.
yeah, we'll loop back into this
Yeah. Yeah.
system, whatever it
Yeah.
is, modern spiritual world system,
Yes. And not
it
going out there.
and not going on when it's not having an effect.
That's right. That's right. And can I draw people's attention to global governments right now, to
Right.
Gaza, to what ICE are doing, with human beings all over America, like the war zones that are around the place, the famines, what we've done to the planet. Where are the spiritual leaders? What are they doing? Going back into the side door of the factory of making more people awake instead of getting out there, put on your boots and influence change and get
Mhm.
active and bring the awakened perspective into global politics. Get up off your butt, get off your meditation cushion and contribute to this. Like while your body is here, you're contributing to this illusion, you're contributing to this dream. Make it better so that there's less suffering. That is important because we all remember what it was like to suffer, whether we're still suffering or not. No matter how long we're awake, we remember what it was like to suffer. It's tough.
Right.
Trauma is tough. It's tough.
And that is a perfect thing to bring up because the theme of the issue is spiritual practice in the contemporary world, which
Mm.
really that question is about what's the value of spiritual practice? Because if it
Yes.
if it remains in the domain of helping people feel better,
Yes.
it's not worth that much. You-
Correct.
I mean, look, I want people to feel better, and I
Yeah.
I generally feel that feeling better is preferable to feeling worse.
Yes.
But it's not the most important thing, and it's
Yes.
it's not enough to, and I think this is a challenge of spiritual work. Feeling better isn't a big enough motive to keep you in the work long enough to see the truly miraculous results.
Yes. Yes.
Because it doesn't feel that good to do the work.
Because it's work.
Because it's work. We'd like it not to be, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot that needs to happen for that awakening process to
Yeah.
occur. And
Yeah.
your reason for engaging with it has to be big.
Yes.
I would love to hear you speak a little bit about why should people care about spiritual practice today? Why
Yeah.
does it matter in the world? Because
Yeah.
another way that you could take your last statement is to say, look, forget spiritual practice. Let's just get busy and fix the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the way either.
No. You know, there is one prayer that I say every morning. I walk out and I face the sun because it's usually sun shining here. But even if it's raining, I'll still walk out in the rain and say it. It's just a one-page prayer. And I do that every morning. And then if I have time for mantra, I will do mantra. If I don't have time and I just do the short prayer, which is like, that goes without saying. I do that every single morning. Doesn't matter what. If that's the only thing I do and I'm traunched into work, I find myself during the day, every day that I don't have decent prayer time in the morning, I find myself saying, let everything I do be from my heart. Let everything I do be an act of devotion. Every person I speak to, every morsel of food that I create, putting out the trash, let it all be a prayer. Every act I do, let it be a prayer. It helps my humanness to be more aware of the unified field and the energy that I'm putting back into the unit. That is important. Like nothing is important outside of the movie, but as long as you're alive, every single breath you take is important. Every
Right.
single one influences the unit, the massive energy that is here. And if our awakening is we get the concepts and we've never gone into compassion, we're not done. We're not cooked. So dropping back into the place of the role of love, where my own big eureka happened nearly 30 years ago now. Do you know that big blast open of what love really is, divine love, non-phenomenal love? For us to be more of that, like the work is about everything that is not of pure divine love has to leave your system. That's what the work is. Everything that's not of love has to leave. That's it. Like if I had to kind of oversimplify it, that's what I'd say.
Yes, it's beautiful.
So how is that going to continue on, even if you know the truth? And don't spiritually bypass in terms of, oh, it doesn't matter, nothing matters now. It's like, okay, okay. And then the dualistic part, the part of your brain that functions as a human being, the part that can still play in the matrix, that doesn't work. That's a cop out then. For to say nothing matters in your human experience is a cop out.
Right.
Sometimes it can be a sign of depression, avoidance, denial, reverting into a child instead of adulting, your awakening. All of these symptoms happen and seem to be, not widely known that these are binding and stifling participation of awakened spiritual people in our global mess.
Right.
And I really do believe that so much in the world could be improved if we got up off our meditation cushions and found a way to make our activity in the world prayer.
Yes, or as you said earlier, and this is, I think, a different way to say the same thing, but to live the awakening,
Mm, that's right.
which means your life becomes a prayer.
Your life becomes a prayer.
It's not like you're living a life and saying prayers too.
Yes,
Your
yes,
life
no,
is a prayer.
my life is a prayer. Yeah, it is. I'm very aware of that, actually.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Even in the shower, it's like, you know, I'm cleansing this beautiful mechanism, which is God in form. I'm like the devotion of having a shower. This is divine consciousness in human form. It's like something in me goes, wow, like
Mm,
that's exquisite. It's very easy to find awe, AWE, that awe. It's very easy to find that when you go into your heart. And it's a
yeah.
beautiful thing. And it brings reverence and grace and compassion and love. That feels good.
Hmm.
That feels
Yes.
really good. It
Yes.
does. There is something nice there for the human being. There is. Because it's easeful and it's open. It's gentle. It's soft. It's kind. It's understanding.
Mm,
And those are the qualities I like to cultivate in this Jack woman. That's the project. Can I
yes.
cultivate those qualities in this Jack personality? You know, I want to keep doing that. I can go much further on those for myself.
Right.
Um, and that's you know, what's that got to do with awakening? This is post awakening, post integration material we're talking about, you
Hmm.
know? And sometimes when I guide people in this work, they're like, oh my God, am I awake at all? I never knew all this crap was inside me. It's like, try not to give yourself brownie points for how awake you are. This is a spectrum of evolution,
Yes.
you know, and honor the ongoing evolution. Everything that shows up here is constantly changing and moving and growing and evolving. Everything is. Nothing stays the same in this realm. And so your phenomenal experience and how you hold that awakening shift, that will keep evolving. Work with it. Become
Absolutely.
wiser, you know, help the world, help people. And in doing so, you help the unit, you know, because I've more of a sense of the unified consciousness than individual consciousness. You know, there's more of that plays,
Mm.
like just feeling part of a whole rather than an individual who is sometimes part of a whole. There's more
Yes.
of the wholeness that's here
Yes.
all the time. And that trickles down to how I recycle and what
Hmm.
I consume. And the impact, I can really do something about that impact in how I live as well as how I work. You know, I can do micro work or macro work. And that's kind of the way it seems to show up in my brain rather than, oh, there's Jac O'Keeffe's life and then there's her work. It's like, I don't see it so much like that. It's like there's the micro, what I'm doing here within the boundaries of my humanness, and then there's the macro work that I can feel consciousness. I can feel the urgency of consciousness to participate and to help. Even if we are going to blow up the planet and we'll all get killed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Right.
matter. I'm still going to do this regardless of where it's heading.
Yeah. I completely agree. So I want to tell you a story because I think it illustrates some of the things I heard you saying and now and also
Yeah.
in the teachings that I listened to. It was very powerful for me, and it was about 15 years ago. By then, I had been part of a spiritual community for at least 17 years,
You
and
were with Andrew, so you were
with,
well ensconced in Andrew's.
yes,
Yeah.
and I was married and I was married for the second time to a woman from the community.
Yes.
And one day I got a call from the hospital saying, you know, your wife has been in a terrible car accident. It was a head-on collision with a tractor trailer,
Mm.
and we need you to come to the emergency room right away. And I said, how's she doing? And they said, well, we can't give that information over the phone. To which I thought, you probably should have given me a little less.
Yes, indeed.
you
Indeed.
know, so a good friend from next door drove me because I was in no state to drive, clearly. So I'm going in the car. It's a 20-minute drive to the hospital. And of course, your brain is trying to help you by showing you all the worst case scenarios.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
preparing you for the worst, as if
Yes.
that's helpful. So, I
Yes.
see her either dead or uh,
Yes.
paralyzed or, limbs
Yes.
missing or whatever is your brain is concocting. And I was shaking like a leaf, you know,
Yes.
with
Yes.
terror. And it was just overwhelming. And then I heard this little voice that said, if the worst has happened, does it matter?
Mm.
I thought about it and I
Mm.
thought, no matter what happens, everything's going to be fine.
Yes.
Life's fine. I, I,
Yes.
I remember what I thought was, no matter what happens, life is going to be fine.
Yes.
My life might be terrible,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
right? But life is going to be fine in terms of the
Uh-huh.
micro and the macro. And
Yes.
and that
Yes.
realization,
Fantastic.
it didn't stop the body right from shaking.
Yeah.
It made me go, well, I don't want to arrive at the hospital a mess, no matter what's there. I
Yes.
want to arrive calm, open, and able
Yes.
to participate. I want to be
Participate.
useful.
Yes.
I don't want to be. And so I just took a breath and I got there and you just talked about awe. I came to the
Yeah.
hospital. She was, she had some major injuries, but nothing
She was
like,
alive.
she was alive and she was going to recover largely.
Yeah.
Uh, but what I saw was, this is beautiful. There were, a team of people and they were trying so hard. Like they really wanted to help. And all I wanted, I wanted to be part of the team,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there wasn't really anything I could do because I didn't really know anything. But I just thought this is so beautiful how these are like angels. They are working with precision as a team and nobody's ego's in the way and
Yes.
everybody's just wanting to help. What a beautiful thing to see. And so I really started to teach after that because people often they claim that meditation can just be an avoidance of life. And I've always told people, but after that I really was very strong. Your meditation should make you more available for life. And if it's not making you available, then why bother? The-
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes, Jeff. Yes.
and I hear that in your teachings, or
Yes.
that I feel like fundamentally that's one of the things you're saying all the time.
Yes.
This practice, you should be more available because of the practice, not less.
Yes. More available because of the practice, not less. I love it. Put that quote out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely will.
It's a really
Now,
good one. Yeah.
another thing that you said that I loved was, and this is again part of your story. So you had this big awakening at 30, you changed your life, but then at some point you were going in one direction. I think you were doing a lot of psychic work and you were
Yeah.
helping a lot of people, but
Yeah.
you came to a place where you realized, but I'm not evolving.
That's right.
And if I'm
That's
not
right.
evolving,
That's right.
this won't work. Tell us about that because I think that's a big part of your message too. Like we have to keep evolving.
We have to keep evolving. And yeah, that happened in my in my, I suppose, 36th, 37th year, I suppose. Um, I had a very busy private practice, and a woman called for an appointment, and I said, "Well, I'll put you on the waiting list." And she said, "Okay, when can I expect a call?" And I said, "It'll be 6 months." And she, "It's ridiculous. You're not offering a service." But sure, I'll be 3 issues later by the time I come there. I won't even remember what this is right now, and I need help now. And I went, "You're right. Oh, you're right." And within an hour, I cancelled my entire waiting list. And I said, "I'll finish off the people I'm with. That's it. That's it. I'm not. And what I'm doing now is I've become part of a machine of
Mhm.
just repeating my skill set. Where am I in that? What am I doing about Jac O'Keeffe evolving and growing in the middle of that? What am I doing? She's not. She's just, going by rote now and using her skill set. That'll make me sick. That's toxic for me. I can't do that. Um, and so I suppose it happened again, but not in such a direct way. It happened again around 2020, 21 maybe, when I was like, I can't do this teaching anymore. I just can't do this teaching anymore. I found myself not looking forward to going on tour, not looking forward to a 5-day retreat. I'm like, it just feels heavy. This isn't right at all. I have to be going in full of joy, or there's something off here. What is going on? And the sense of like of if I stop, then I'm okay. I'll be living on the breadline. What am I going to do? How am I going to manage this? I'm like, all right, Jac, you're going to have to just park all those concerns and do what feels right. Just do what feels right. So I started to wind down the teaching. And every time I closed something like my online services, oh, this feeling of lightness. I'm like, what am I doing here? Now, I had been working voluntary with the Association for Spiritual Integrity, and that's where the passion had shifted to. I was
Mhm.
loving when I was doing the Association for Spiritual Integrity, loving it, doing training courses myself to learn about boundaries, about status power and how we use power within the spiritual domain. What is that? And are we respectful? And are we taking people's power? What is surrender? And how can you surrender spiritually and hold on to your personal power? How does that work? So
Mm.
these things got me interested, and I'm like, I just, I can't do something that I'm not interested in. And at the same time, my marriage had broken down. I knew it was over. My partner didn't, but I knew it was over. So looking back, it was like, oh, I'm supposed to be not working before I file for a divorce. I can see how I'm being taken care of here.
Mm.
That's what's so the macro. I was like, oh my God, so it has to be like this. That I earn very little for the last 2 years. It has to be like this so that I can exit, not have to pay alimony for the rest of my life, and and actually serve
Right.
and grow and see what is it that spiritual leaders need. And that's why I love these kinds of conversations, because we're both recognizing there is a shift that has to come into the people who have awakened.
Mhm.
There is a shift. How does it help you to participate in the world? And that's what will make you grow. That's what will make you evolve. There it is. And
Right.
so for me then, like, the day I leave the Association for Spiritual Integrity is the day that it's not making me evolve as a human being.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's when I'll know. I recognize the pattern now. If I'm not growing, I gotta go. I gotta just honor it and bow out, you know?
Right.
And
Definitely.
mm,
I can very much relate to that, because every few years something needs to shift.
that's right.
Say
That's
five
right.
years or so. And I've kind of run the end of a course, and I'm kind of at that point at the moment, and
Are you?
where what I'm really feeling, and it's, as you said, things work out perfectly, right?
Mm.
But I'm really feeling it's not that I want to stop teaching, but I need to go into very deep practice right now. It's been a long time that I've been teaching, and that's been really a primary
Yes.
concern,
Yes.
and it's been great, and I love it, and I have such a
Yes.
beautiful community of people, and I want to continue to serve them.
Yes.
But I can't continue to serve them unless I go somewhere new,
Yes.
and that's what
Yes.
it feels like. I'm being called to go somewhere new, and it
Yes.
seems to involve a much deeper degree of practice than I've been engaged with for a
Yes.
long time in a different context. Because my intense years of practice, the really,
Mm.
hours and hours a day practice was in
Yes.
one context,
Yes.
and it served me well. It didn't serve everyone, but it served me very well.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but my context is different now, and in fact, I think the context is gathering for this
Yes.
phase, and I'm really feeling, oh, it's time for something.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk to you because I just wanted to have someone to say that to, who I
Yes.
who would really understand.
Yes. And Jeff, tell me where your heart goes with practice. What type of practice is delicious now, or has that come clear yet?
It's not 100% clear, um, but honestly, a lot of it is practices that I've done,
Yeah.
right? And practices that I've taught,
Yes.
but going, okay, no, I need to get on the other side of this one. Like I've taught
Yes.
it to the extent that I have,
Yes.
and I'm excited about it. I love the practices, but I love going further than I've been before. I love
Yes.
the experience of being out beyond what I know, you know, and
Yes.
and I've
Yes.
heard you say this in some of your interviews. You can come to a place in practice where you've sort of stabilized in a pretty deep state of
Mm,
practice. And
mm.
you can sit and pretty predictably rest in
Yes.
something that, you know, 10 years ago would have felt amazing.
Absolutely. Yes.
But
Uh-huh.
today it's like kind of where you're resting.
Yes.
Uh,
It's norm. Becomes the
but
norm.
and that's why the reason I love to do retreats is because those are the opportunities I have to go where I haven't been before. And sometimes I feel like I just need a group of practitioners, like fellow practitioners, because that field helps me practice deeper.
it helps you practice deeper, or is it that you mightn't have the discipline if you didn't have a structure and peeps to do it with?
That's probably true, actually. Without without setting that time aside, having the structure and having the accountability of being with a group of people that are doing something similar, when would I ever take a week and just go deeply into practice by myself? I'd feel too guilty. I feel like I should be working, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And a retreat really sort of gives me the excuse. It gives me the cover to do what I want to do anyway, which is
Yeah,
explore those depths beyond what I know.
yeah. Maybe do what you want to do anyway for the
Hmm.
love of it.
Yes,
Because there's probably something in your own wiring that's kind of still wants to kind of give you permission to do it, mm, to get there with some structures that are not simply you and your divine nature.
that's very interesting.
You don't
Um,
need an excuse, Jeff.
yes, yes.
And it'll
I,
be clearer if you don't go through the excuse, because there's something about that that makes it less pure for you right now, right now.
no, I think that's true. I think this is actually really true. Oh, I'm having a moment of
Yeah, yeah,
of
take a
of,
breather. Yeah,
of recognition,
yeah.
because it's this. It has the feeling of I'd really like to just. Ooh, I'm almost like afraid to say it. I'd really like to just take, a week off, a month
Yes,
off, and
yes,
just bow out, you
yes,
know, and not even because, I've made my retreats down to about 10 people because I just
yeah,
want the people around me that I know and love. And
yes,
it's easy.
yeah, yes.
Um, but the idea of just taking a week and just nobody, no retreat, no explanation, just
Hmm. Hmm.
be gone.
Hmm.
Uh, that feels really good. That feels
Yeah,
exciting.
do
It
it,
feels
do it.
I I'm going to.
Great.
I think that's really fantastic.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it'll break something,
It will.
you know.
It will
Uh,
break something.
and it very directly relates to what I've been feeling, which is I want my spiritual I want to I want this new depth of practice and I want it to be for me.
Yes,
I don't want it to because my practice now always feels like it's for everybody else
yes,
and me.
yes.
Uh,
And you?
It's not I'm included. It's for me too, but it also feels like it's connected to everybody. It's not purely selfish in the best way.
Yes,
It's not purely now I need this. I
yes,
need to go deep
yes,
on my own
yes,
without
yes. That's
it
right.
being part of
Y-
anything official.
when we grow with a group, we grow at the speed of the group.
Mm,
And
mm,
big bodies move slowly.
interesting. No, that makes sense. I can
Yeah,
feel that.
yeah, yeah. Like where you're being called to go, you can't carry anybody with you.
That's exactly right. That feels exactly spot on right.
Yeah. How beautiful, how exciting.
It really is. And it's just how I feel called,
Yes, yes,
which is just very interesting. And I don't know where it'll lead. I don't, who knows what's next?
yes.
You only get one assignment at a time, it seems.
Thank heaven. Thank heaven.
Yes, exactly. Because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah,
So there's one last question I'd like to ask you,
yeah,
because this was important for me some years ago. So I was with Andrew, and
yeah.
he was teaching initially very much Advaita Vedanta, later an
Mm,
evolutionary.
mm,
variation, but a lot of
mm.
it to Vedanta. And one of the things that I saw as problematic is there was a kind of, and I, there was a very strong idea that there was kind of a singular path to whatever it was, awakening. Um, Now, Andrew did talk about everyone's expression of awakening will be different because we're all unique individuals. So that, and I think that's true, right? We're not,
Mm,
we're not
mm,
this,
mm.
but it didn't apply to the path. There was still one path,
Ah,
but then once the awakening occurred, there would be unique expression. The problem with that is for some people, that path really worked, but for others, it didn't.
yes,
But since that was the path,
yes,
if it wasn't working for you, there must be something wrong with you,
yes,
right? There's not
yes,
enough intention, there's not enough effort, there's
yes,
not enough devotion.
yes.
And that caused a lot of problems, I think, unnecessarily. And it became clear to me long ago, but increasingly that we just, there isn't one path. And
That's right.
and even in one lifetime, you don't need the same path isn't going to work all the time. Like
Correct,
change.
correct,
We need something different.
correct. Yeah.
And so about 4 years ago,
Hmm.
I started to get really fascinated by the idea of the soul. So
Mm.
you and I have had kind of opposite, in a way, opposite experiences, which I love because you had this big experience when you were 30, which I know involved talking to dead people and all kinds of wild, kind of subtle realms, psychic stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Way out there. And then you pursued that, and then you kind of came into freedom and the kind of stuff we've been talking about.
Mm,
I wasn't aware of having had a lot of psychic experiences.
mm, mm,
I met a teacher. I fell in love with the teacher. I fell in love
mm.
with teaching, and I did an enormous amount of practice,
Yes,
and then had very powerful experiences.
yes.
And in those, now this is interesting. So I had a kind of cosmic consciousness experience when I was about 29 on retreat,
Yeah,
39 on retreat, where I blew up to the size of the universe.
yes.
And when I was at the very edges of the universe, I was just flooded with exactly the love you were talking about.
Aha.
And I knew the whole universe is love.
Is love.
There is
Yes,
nothing else.
yes.
And,
There's nothing else.
and when I had that experience, I remembered that when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I used to do that all the time.
Oh, that's
I would,
beautiful.
I remembered going into the bathroom and looking at my own eyes in the mirror and
Mirror.
blowing
Yeah.
up to the size of the universe and
Oh,
feeling love and then coming back down and then going about my, and I remembered the day when I went in the
oh,
bathroom and I looked in my eyes and I couldn't do it.
oh my goodness me.
And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like I don't know how to do it. And then after that, I just forgot about it. I sort
Yeah.
of fell into
Oh,
normal life and I complete until 30 years later on retreat. Um,
yes. Yes.
so, I had some experiences, but I didn't know about them.
Yeah.
But I found that fascinating because you came in through these really spontaneous experiences you had at
Yeah.
age 30. I know you also had earlier experiences as a child. I'm pretty sure we all did.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then you moved sort of toward that non-dual, more
Yeah.
of the non-dual
Well,
Advaita.
there was a chunk of years in India with serious spiritual practice and,
Also, I
yeah,
remember I
yeah,
heard that. Yes.
and handing back every skill, every psychic ability. And it's like, no, this has to
Right.
be normal, simple, human. There's no other way to go to God except
Yes.
raw human. I love that story, Jeff. That's beautiful. I love it.
It was great. I mean, it made my whole life make sense,
It made your whole life make
you know.
sense.
'Cause
You go full circle again. Yeah,
I never knew why I joined this spiritual community.
yeah,
Like you're in a spirit. I remember when I first got in the community, I
uh,
was sleeping on somebody's floor in
yeah,
Somerville, Massachusetts,
yeah,
people I didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
And I remember, and I had just left a perfectly good marriage,
yeah,
for no
yeah,
reason except to do this. And
yeah.
and I thought, what am I doing?
What am I doing here?
but I had to. I just felt like I
And
have to do this.
absolutely, that's it. You had to do it, yeah.
It makes
Yeah,
no
I
sense.
had to leave my first marriage too. God, we have a lot of similarities. I had to
It's,
leave my first marriage too, yeah. I had to walk.
it,
It was no problem at all. I just had to go, you know?
right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now you know
for God.
why.
Oh yeah, I knew I had to go to God. It's just like it's God or the marriage. I know I have a choice here. It's one or
Right.
the other,
Right.
you know. God, reality, whatever we want to call it, same, same.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I am much more now aware that we are all a soul, that we all have a soul
Yes.
beyond this birth.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
soul has spiritual needs. And our
Yes.
goal as a human being is to fulfill those needs.
Yes.
And they're different. They're different. They're different.
Every path is
Differences.
different.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Every single path is different. Because I did start up a private practice again. Absolutely every path is different. I have never seen two people with the same path. I've seen it similar for a while, but
Yes.
invariably they go their own way. Every path is different. And where Andrew might have kind of, seen where there's the same is that pivotal moment of like, oh, I'm not my thoughts, or that pivotal
Yes.
recognition. Oh, it's all made of love, or oh, I'm not sitting at the conveyor belt and participating anymore. There's that, and my beingness is what I am, and there's my phenomenal self. Like there's pivotal seeings that we can share,
Yes.
but they're realizations. They're not the path. They're like the seeings, you know.
Absolutely. Yes.
But how we get there, absolutely everybody's different.
Right.
Everybody's different. And so it's impossible to say somebody's more involved than some evolved than somebody else. It's like just it's all the path. Your whole life is the frigging path. So
Right.
like really at some point you're behind that person. Like what criteria can say that, you know?
I am completely with you in that. It's a if there is a way to tell who's more evolved than someone else, we probably don't know how to do it. And it feels like a waste of time trying.
It does. It
What does
does.
it matter who's
What
more evolved
does
than
it
who?
matter?
You know?
What's that competitive bullshit about? Like,
Yes,
no,
it
no,
makes
just
no sense.
yeah, yeah.
So what are you saying these days? Like what does the contemporary world need spiritually speaking, right? I
Mm,
mean, we need a lot of things.
mm.
Clearly, the world is in a mess in a million ways.
It's a mess in a million
But what
ways, yeah.
does spirituality have to offer? What does spiritual practice have to offer? What do these realizations have to offer? Why are they important? And how do you think we should go about using these spiritual realizations and tools
Mm,
to really make a difference?
mm. Yeah. Oof, that's a big question. I think if the motivation to make a difference comes from your mind, it's not going to get very far. If the resistance to do anything comes from your mind, it's going to get pretty toxic for you. So it's about listening inside and seeing how can I serve? How can I serve? How can I serve? How can I serve? God, I've said that to the universe a gazillion times. How can I serve? I've even done it when I was snorkeling. Like it just kind of came up and I'm like this in front of the fish. How can I serve? How can I serve? Like it's just these waves of like use me, use this form. And it's I'm talking to what I really am, you know? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
the Jack woman talking to what I really am. How can I serve? And I think that's a good starting point. How can I serve? Let me be available to serve. And you might hear something very clearly and you might not. If you don't hear anything, start somewhere, volunteer somewhere. If it's in the animal shelter, if it's with Meals on Wheels, volunteer somewhere. Go and do something. Like let your body mind mechanism be of service.
Mm,
It will evolve you, it will support you, it will rub up against your ego, whatever needs to be healed next, whatever pattern is there next. It's gonna it's gonna come up. So there's no faster teaching than for yourself, teacher for yourself, than to be of service.
right.
And it makes sense to us to be of service. There's a rightness about service because the unified field becomes much stronger than the individual. For me, my calling is around bringing in integrity and honesty and better human to human skills in the realm of spiritual leadership.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's what rocks my boat. And it was there when I was friggin' 15 years old. I went to the principal of the school to complain about our religion teacher. We had religion teachers in those days, to say, I need her to tell us when she's talking from textbook and when she's talking from what she knows. I didn't really know what I was talking about, but I was really obsessed with this point when I was 15. And the principal was like, I suppose you're making a good point. And I'm like, I need to know. Like, I just need to know, is this textbook and who wrote it? Or like, we just must believe something that somebody wrote down? Or is this actually like, I didn't have the word the truth at the time, but is this like validated by what
Mhm.
she knows? Like,
Mhm.
we need to, and I'm still, gazillion years later, that that seed, which, went underground for many, many years, is here now. And the honesty of spiritual lead, like the kind of conversation we're having. We're both talking about our humanness and how we want to grow and how we need to grow and what that calling is like and how do we respect it and where are our blind spots. And like, can we normalize these conversations,
Mhm.
you know, around
Mhm.
what it is for spiritual leadership to have colleagues, to have peers, to be reflected, to have a way of abiding in the stillness and at the same time honor your humanness. And that has been denied in spiritual leadership. So even if you can't find a way to serve, have a look in yourself to see, do I give extra status to spiritual teachers
Mhm.
because I think they're closer to God than I am, or they've lost something and I want to lose that thing too? Like, what? Break down the status that you give to spiritual leaders. Break that down and see, did they earn it? Is it culturally that you've bought the Kool-Aid into the cultural, pressure to like mix up the teacher and the teachings?
Mhm.
Like, take the teachings and let the teacher be human.
Right.
Expect the teacher to be human. Can you have that relationship with whatever spiritual leader you're working with? Can you honor their humanness and expect them to be human and talk to them on a human level? If they
Mhm.
can't hear it, walk away. If they deny their humanness, get out of Dodge, walk away, because there is something going on that they have identified with the role of being a teacher and cannot kind of see the teacher, my humanness, my own evolution. If they're not in integrity, they will not give you access to their humanness. So that's another form of service, because
Yes.
if we can change the collective blind spots around spiritual leaders and what we expect of them and stop projecting the ideal parent onto a spiritual leader and hold on to our own agency, that's
Mhm.
a huge service to the collective, to the culture of spiritual leadership, which, I think is hugely important. And that will give rise to us getting more involved socially, politically, even that.